Assignment 2, Part 3. Jews who did not wander. Not all stories were so complicated. There were some unusual Jewish communities which stayed stable for many generations, with very few people moving in or moving out. We will briefly examine two examples, the Yemenite community and the Ethiopian community. In the early centuries CE, there was a significant flow of Jews from Eretz Yisrael and from Babylon into Yemen. However, from that time onwards, very few Jews entered or left Yemen. The only change to the makeup of the Jewish community came from the conversion to Judaism of Yemenite Bedouin people. The result of this stability was a community of Jews cut off from Jewish developments in the rest of the world. For at least the last 1,000 years of their stay in Yemen, the Jews experienced much hardship. The majority of Yemenite Jews have nowadays moved to Israel. We know of the Jews in Ethiopia as a separate group from some time in the Middle Ages. However, it seems as though their origins were much earlier, since the form of Judaism they practiced was based on the Bible and did not incorporate any influence from post-biblical or rabbinic Judaism. They knew very little Hebrew. Their scriptures were in their own language of Ge'ez. They lived in their own village communities, headed by their own holy men and priests. The community of Ethiopian Jews was so isolated that their version of Judaism ended up very differently to mainstream rabbinic Judaism in other places around the world. The majority of Ethiopian Jews have nowadays moved to Israel. Summary. The classic Jewish community is a creation of the diaspora. The model of community that formed the basis of Jewish life for the majority of Jewish history was born in the diaspora. Whilst the rabbis might have initially developed this model in Eretz Yisrael in the generations after the destruction of the Second Temple, the plan was put into practice in the diaspora. As we have seen, Jews moved from place to place, and new Jewish centres rose on the ruins of old ones. Spain rose from the decline of Babylon. The Ottoman Empire rose on the ruins of Spain. As Ashkenaz went into decline, Eastern Europe started to rise. In later generations, as Eastern Europe went into decline, its refugees built communities in North America and the English-speaking world, South America, and Palestine, Israel. The Jewish story is like a series of waves in the ocean. When one wave breaks, another moves in from behind to take its place. Each community was slightly different. Each time and place offered a modified version of the original idea. But the idea of Jewish community was the backbone of Jewish existence. Without this framework, it is likely that the Jewish people would have disappeared, as so many other ancient peoples did. The fact that the Jewish people lasted through history until the modern age, often in difficult circumstances, tells us something about the power of Jewish community. That is the end of Assignment 2 in total.